Heyo everybody, XEI here for a quick vlog and a channel update. We are in September. We are officially just over two-thirds of the way through the year. That's crazy to think about because in my head I feel like I just started this channel, but it's over a year and a half old now. Nuts. But let me just summarize basically what's hit the channel over summer and what we're going to be doing for September and into October. That's as far as I can think. That's at least as far as I feel confident about. There's always stuff that comes up that might throw that off or new things that enter the mix, but for all intents and purposes, we have Dragon Age 2 coming to an end. I am in the third act of the game right now. I just finally caught up on editing. That took like 2.5 weeks because I did a long grind of the Mark of the Assassin DLC. And then I have Mass Effect 2, which got started. I'm loving it already. I'm only like just over a dozen episodes into the series. There's a little bit of that almost intimidation mixed with excitement because every time I start one of these long form series, I'm like, oh my god, this is going to take so long to do. And a little bit of that does sort of make me free sometimes because of just I get overwhelmed with the idea of what's in store instead of just playing it and then getting episodes out, interacting with the community, getting episodes out, interacting with the community. And I feel like when I'm in that pace, it's all good. But when I take a step back, like something happens, derails me, and it makes me step out of that pattern, and then I see everything that's going on, I'm like, oh my god, it's sort of overwhelming. But if I'm in the mix of it, I don't feel overwhelmed at all. So much so that it was a long weekend here last weekend, and I took an extra day off Friday because I got a Humble Bundle. In that Humble Bundle was a game called Infested Planet. I've been looking at this indie game for a long time, and I finally got that Humble Bundle because I wanted to play that game. So I tried it, and then 5 episodes later that I recorded, I was like, I have to keep playing this. So I took the Friday off to make it an extended long weekend here, and then I cleared the game. I cleared Infested Planet. I pre-recorded the entire series, story mode. It was a lot of fun. Thankfully, I found a faster way of how to edit, capture videos, especially for these like shorter form games. I have like a different setup now for capturing those games. It's so quick, guys. I can literally do 6 episodes, and I'm talking from recording to post-production to like everything. I can do 6 of these smaller form games in the same time that it takes me to do 1 of the Dragon Age or Mass Effect games. So that's just to put it into context for you guys of just how when I go into long form, that's why I get overwhelmed. But anyways, I started the Dig or Die multiplayer, so that's 0.32 is when multiplayer got or 3, but it's not, they're on 3.4 now or something like that. But I started with Silent Deviant, so I'm putting Dig or Die hard mode on a break. I'm not canceling that. I will be finishing it, but right now I'm enjoying my time with Silent Deviant. It's a lot of fun to do multiplayer in that game, and we hope to clear the game, and so we're ahead of schedule on that one as well. So that's not taking up much more time in terms of production stuff. Introduced Torchlight to the channel, another very small game, something that basically when I'm exporting like I am right now, a Dragon Age episode, I can just slip into one of these, like in this case a loot grinder, where it's sort of brainless. It's very addicting as well. I could definitely grind that one until end of story there, but I'm trying to like pad that one out. It's kind of like my filler game, but I love the graphics in it. I love the escapist of just like mindless is a horrible word to use for a game. I mean, there's a story going on and stuff, but you really just get into this like groove of like these procedural maps just always feeling unique, just all the loot feeling unique, all the like the runes feeling unique. Like you can do so much in that game and stuff is always happening and your brain is always engaged, and it's an ADD person's dream, right? So I love that game, and I'm gonna try to finish that game for the channel as well. Okay, so that's what's on the block right now. What's coming in the future? I feel like when Dragon Age 2 comes to an end, which is very, very close, I'm going to focus the majority of my time on Mass Effect 2. That's going to get the kind of the front billing, and I'm going to prepare myself for Witcher 1. Now, what I say about prepare myself is because I don't think I'm going to be able to stay away from the Dragon Age world for as long as I should stay away from the Dragon Age world. What I mean by that is I have to absolutely start Witcher 1. I feel like the game is a decade old now. I need to get it into queue. I don't really want to play Dragon Age and Witcher at the same time, but I need to start Witcher 1, and so I'm going to slip that one in right after Dragon Age 2, but there's a good chance that after I get far enough into Witcher 1 where I've got the groove for it, I might start Inquisition sooner than I should. But I'm not going to be able to hold myself back. I don't think I am. I feel like I will want to get back into the Dragon Age world right away. The alternative is that if I don't get into the Inquisition game while playing Witcher 1, which will also be in parallel with Mass Effect 2, what I'll do instead is I'll start reading the Dragon Age novels, the graphic novels and stuff like that, and I'll bring something to the channel that involves the Dragon Age novels. I'm still trying to figure out how I want to do this, because I don't want to just do book reviews, but I want to do something sort of unique. And hear me out here, but I'm thinking like not so much a let's read. I'm not going to read a friggin' novel for this channel, like novel on this channel, like for you guys follow along. But I'm thinking of reading like maybe a number of chapters at a time, or a sequence of like a number of pages at a time. I don't know how many of you guys have read the book out there, but that'll get prefaced in these episodes. But the idea will be that I will read a certain chunk of the book, and then I will talk about that chunk, so that I can still have a bit of that engagement of like almost that blind engagement with people who have read the book and want to kind of be in a conversation with someone who's reading the book for the first time. Like, you know, like I used to do this stuff with like buddies in the old days, right? You'd read a book, but then you'd share a book with a dude, and then he'd read it, and then you couldn't wait to get back together with that guy because you want to hear, did you get to that chapter yet? Did you get to that thing yet? What do you think? Right? And I feel like I can't find anything on YouTube like that. And I don't know how to produce something like that. So I feel like I just need to jump into the deep end and try it. So anyways, there's my pitch for you guys to see if you guys think it's a good idea or not. And if I do that, I will do that while playing Witcher 1 so that I still get my Dragon Age fix. I have time to get through the books and all that stuff and get it to you guys, and try to do that in a continuity, in like a chronological order of the timeline of the games. And then we'll be ready for Inquisition by the end of the year, or by the turn of the year. So, okay, so that's the plan for Witcher 1. October is going to come around, and at the beginning of the year, I've been talking about BioShock for a couple vlogs now, but at the beginning of the year, one of my things I would like to try to do, one of those things on the list is a BioShock 1. I have to clear BioShock 1. That's one, because it's been in my head for so long of wanting to play this game and clear it, that I feel like it had to make that top 10 list for the year. So that's my October game. That's on the docket. I want to play that game for October. If I introduce anything else during October, there's no way I'm doing like straight up horror games, but I would do something like Walking Dead, for example. I would consider it, but that depends what the load is, because right now, as you guys can see with the channel, there's a lot of stuff coming to this channel. And so with that, I'm going to segue into stuff that's not going to be on this channel anymore. So things like video games, that's what this channel is going to be about. I'm also going to expand that to any content that supports video game universes. So comics relating to Mass Effect, comics relating to Dragon Age, comics and books related to Witcher, stuff like that. That's open game for this channel. Board games will come to this channel in some form. I'm working that out. But everything else is off the channel, including comics. So comics as a category is gone. That's gonna get moved to my personal channel, the Nuno XEI channel. Oh, the thing I didn't think I'd ever do, but I did, because, and I will explain myself, but I did, and if you're interested, I did an XEI Reacts to Rick and Morty, episode 1, the pilot episode. I know of the series. I've heard people like give it good, like people talk really well about Rick and Morty, but I've never watched the show. I didn't really care. I didn't understand. Anyways, so I figured, you know what, just like the gaming thing, you know, me starting a YouTube channel to then start gaming was a way for me to try to find this balance of I like the game, but then do something with it, so that it's more than just the gaming. It's that interaction with the community, and having that kind of slow me down is the healthy thing. Because when I marathon a show, like, I don't sleep, I eat what I need to eat just to get through it. But when I go like Walking Dead, I'll do a season of Walking Dead. I will start in a Saturday afternoon or something, and I will go straight through, right? I will go straight through. And if it's 2 seasons I'm behind, I will go straight through. There's no sleeping. So that's why I usually only do marathons every, 6 to 8 weeks. Like, I really don't watch anything, because I know those are my habits, and I don't know how to control myself. And I think that's it. That's the channel update. I'm going to wrap this up right here. I'm sure I forgot some, and I always do, despite these ending up longer than I ever anticipate. But anyways, I'm going to wrap this up here. Don't forget to explore, engage, and aspire. Catch you around next time, everybody. Peace.